While it's a common sense to shut the breaker off before you do any electrical work, your wire could still be live, and let me explain how. Sometimes if you're living in an apartment building or a house with multiple apartments, what could happen is in the past, you never know if one family was living through the whole house or not, or maybe an electrician was just being lazy and tapped into another apartment's power or not. So you will never know what actually happened before you started working on this house. Now, if you are a DIYer and this is your, kind of like your first electrical work, or you're not that much experienced with electrical stuff, it is very important to check the power and make sure that if the power is shut off to the outlet or the light fixture, whatever you're trying to change or, you're trying to work on. So in that case, this is a great set of tools that I picked up from KleinTools. This is actually available in Home Depot as of now. So we'll just cut this open, and then we will go over this thing and see what it has to offer, what they have, and what each one does. So let's actually cut this open. Okay, it's a very hardy case, so it's set to bring the knife out and open that up. Now we have this thing here, and then we have this thing here, and then we also have this thing here. Okay, there we go. So 3 things we got here. Now we also have this thing here. So this here is a little book, and this will show you, you have your instruction manual here, and then we also have some other stuff here. It shows, about the pen, and this is for the multimeter, I guess. And so this here has all your drawings and stuff, what each thing means. We also have this thing on this piece of equipment as well, so you don't really need to carry this around, but in case you need to, we have the manuals and stuff in here, so you can check that out later, but I'll keep that to a side. And we also have something else here, which is very important. It's going to be the wires for the multimeter, and we also have AAA batteries, 2 colors. So now let's actually go ahead, one thing at a time, and we'll set these up and show you guys what these things do. So first of all, we have this very useful tool. Now this is something that you would plug into an outlet that you're trying to work on. This thing actually has indication here, which will tell you if you did your wiring correct or not. Now you can also check if the wiring was done correctly or not. If you're trying to buy a house or something, you can, take this in your pocket and, plug it into some outlets, and this will definitely show you if the wiring is correct or not. So this is what that looks like, and this is all the diagrams associated with the wiring of that outlet and stuff like that. So this is what that looks like. It's just plugs into an outlet, and it has all the things that you need to test things, and these are the lights for it. Pretty cool. And then that doesn't require any battery or anything else. You just plug it in and it powers itself through the outlet. And if there's no light or anything, it's not working, it doesn't have power. So we have these wires here, 2 sets of wire, pair of wire, and these are separate wires here. We have a black one and a red one. So this is that, and we would basically plug these in to this multimeter here. So generally this black lead is gonna go onto the middle one here, and the red one goes to the right. So there are cover on these things, it just protects it from any contamination. But here we go, we got our leads in here and it's ready to go. So if you need a 10 ampere, the red one can go up to the 10 ampere here, and then it's 200 MA is for this thing here. Okay, so this is generally how it's gonna go, and then you can check by putting in whatever voltage you're trying to, and then you could turn this knob here to test whatever you need. And then this also actually has a stand, pretty cool, just like that. You could actually put it down, so you could actually read the things and then still work at the same time. And then how you would read is by touching both poles of whatever you're trying to do, by touching the neutral and the hot or whatever you're trying to do, and this will read you the numbers for that. So that's pretty simple enough for that. And then I think 2 of the batteries would go on, so 2 of the batteries would go on this thing here. I think you got to open this thing And let me show you something cool. This multimeter also has this holder here in the back where you can, store these things so, you don't lose them or anything. And I'm gonna suggest you always plugging this thing in and keeping it like this so you don't lose this wire. It's very easy to lose these wires, and hence the second pair for me. It's very easy to lose these wires, so just gotta be careful with that. I always suggest keeping the wires in just like how it is right now, and try to keep it organized just like this, so you're not gonna lose any wires or anything like that. And then we also have this pen here. Now this is something that I use on a daily basis only because it's really, really useful and takes care of most of the important things. So let me just put the battery in and show you guys how this thing actually works. So we will just take one of these pack here and open it up. These are just regular AAA batteries. So there you go. All right, so we got 2 in, and we would just clip this on. Now, this is like a little bit cheaper quality because I actually have a pen from KleinTools, which I use on a regular basis, which I still have. That one is a little bit bigger and does have a little bit more quality, and it does have a built-in flashlight. So if that is something you guys are interested in, definitely check that out. I'll leave that in the description, but I don't know why this is not working. Did I put in the wrong battery or something? Okay, let's try that one more time. My dad has one of these, but I never really used it, so I'm not sure if these are differently rated batteries. Should they be 424G? Okay, you know what? I'll just try this one and see if it works, because if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. That's kind of concerning, isn't it? Should at least turn on to show me some sort of indication that it's working, right? Okay, we're in, and it doesn't work. Let me actually try to put in an outlet and see. So I'm not sure why this is not working. Okay, I'm pretty dumb here, or am I dumb? I'm not sure, but it's actually supposed to go in a different direction than I thought. So yeah, it's supposed to go like that direction. Now, there's a spring on the bottom, and I always thought the flat part goes on the spring, but in this case it doesn't, right? The spring part does go on the flat part. So yeah, I messed up there, and that's why it didn't work. Should work now. There you go. It's kind of weird, isn't it? There you go. So now we're ready to go, and all you do is press this thing and it turns on. And if you go near something that has electricity flowing through it, it'll beep. For example, let me get my camera battery charger, and there you go. Now this thing will beep if there's any hot wire or the black wire, wherever it is. If you touch the wire, even from the outside where the power is not exposed, it is gonna beep. And this will just let you know that there's power, still there available. So it just seems very cheap to me. It just seems very cheap quality with this thing. Yeah, not really gonna lie, but I don't know why that is, but it just doesn't feel right with me. I'm definitely not gonna be using this. I'll just stick to my old one, but this is something that you should definitely have if you're a DIYer. Just make sure that whatever wiring you're touching is not live, and it doesn't really have to touch the actual live wire inside the sheathing. Even if you're outside of the sheathing, this will still detect it. So that I think is very awesome, and this is a tool that I always carry with me, because you never know if something is live or not. So this is how I check. So what basically happens is that you could take this thing and you could plug it into an outlet or something, and you could take this thing and go down to the panel box, and then you would go through the panel and this would start beeping, and then you would know which one this thing's plugged into. That's just how you know that what to shut off, and then the rest of the house is on and you're still safe working on that outlet. So I'm not sure about if that's true or not. You could probably read up on that, but that is something cool if it does work. But then again, once you do that, I would still come back and check with this thing, right? And also another, piece of advice is, if you are installing an outlet, and let's say you got, you want to upgrade from 15 amp outlet to 20 amp outlet, and you want to check if you're still actually getting that kind of, power, you could definitely, check with this thing and make sure that you're not, losing anything in the way, or, if something is going wrong or anything like that. So this is a very useful piece of tool that'll let you know how much current you're getting and things like that. So very important piece of tool here. So these three are, you know, definitely very helpful, but if you had to pick one, I would definitely pick this, and I would keep this with me at all time. It's very useful and it doesn't take much space, and you could definitely toss it in your backpack or, you know, your pocket or anything like that. So it's very helpful. But I will leave the link of the one that I actually use with the flashlight in case you guys are interested in that, because I use that flashlight a lot. And, you know, anytime I need a flashlight, I just pick that up. So it's just a flashlight and this thing all on one. And I don't even, you know, usually, like, you know, if something is like 2-in-1 or something like that, we don't really use it. It's just a gimmicky thing. But, you know, for me, I definitely use that a lot. So I think you guys will like that, and the build quality of that is a little bit, you know, more robust. So I'll definitely leave that for you guys. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know, even though I'm not an electrician, so I might not be able to answer it. But thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.